A very good morning and a warm welcome from the Garden Centre, where we are about to start with the third of the quarterfinals in our search for the Dis-Chem Brain of CapeTalk for 2017. And they are in full volume and looking absolutely beautiful. Well, we've got Monday through Friday, Brain of CapeTalk. They've won some amount of money. They're hoping to add another 5,000 Rand to the amount of money that they've won so far. And we'll be introducing you to them in a moment. The person responsible with hitting them with the questions that will determine who the winner is. He is your host of the Drive Show on Cape Talk, the most gentle of teddy bears, Mr. John Matham.
I know it is not done to disagree publicly with one's colleagues, but I'm not going to hit them with questions. I'm going to tickle them with questions.
Tickle? Didn't I tell
Tickle
you? He's the
them
most gentle of the teddy bears I know, I tell you.
It's very similar to what we do Monday to Friday, except that instead of 60 seconds and a maximum of 15 questions, today we put them under a little bit more pressure. I have 25 questions and I give them 90 seconds to try and answer as many of those as they can get through.
It is as simple as that. And the people tasked with making sure that we're crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's and counting accordingly, so that the winner of the 5,000 Rand is clear at the end of the day. He's an elf on John's show, Stefan Lombard. Hello.
Good morning, Africa. No alternative facts here. We're doing it right.
We're doing it right. And sitting alongside him are Marcus, who takes care of the competition, and Jean-Michel, who is the other elf on John Matham's show, making sure that we are counting all the way correctly.
Without those two, I would be nothing. Thank you very much publicly.
The most gentle of teddy bears, I told you. Are you ready for the third quarterfinal in our search for the Dis-Chem Brain of CapeTalk 2017? Let me introduce you to our first contestant. Monday's brain is Nigel Goliath. He is a resident of Heathfield. He's been there since January of last year, lives there with his wife and his son. He works in the call center at Amazon.com, and he swears the Americans are the worst when it comes to these kind of queries. He's married with a 17-year-old son, and his interests include reading biographies, esoteric and history books, swimming, walking, listening, collecting, reading, pop rock music, especially the 80s and the 90s stuff. And he shook Michael Jackson's hand in October 97 at the waterfront. Nigel, was that when he was dangling his baby out of the window of that hotel?
No, Africa, that was a few years later.
How did you get to meet him?
Did he have a glove on?
No, he had no glove on. He was sitting at the back of the Table Bay Hotel van.
Okay.
And you just walked up to him and said, "Hello, Michael"?
No, they pulled out of the Table Bay Hotel, drove down past the circle, and they stopped behind a bus. And I ran up, and the bodyguards pushed me. I stood still, and they let me
back.
No, I didn't push back, and then they allowed me to go into the van and shake his hand.
A determined Capetonian, I tell you. He is your minder's brain, and John, he's all yours.
Thank you very much, Africa. Nigel, welcome. I don't know whether it's good or bad to be Monday's brain, because you get an opportunity to really scare your four competitors. If you get 16, 17, 18, something like that, then you put them under a great deal of pressure. Conversely, you don't quite know how well you have to do in order to win. Good luck. 90 seconds, a maximum of 25 questions. Are you ready, Nigel?
Yes, I am, John.
Your 90 seconds start now. Spell the word predator.
Predator.
Correct. How many O's are there in the word combination?
2.
Correct. Complete the saying. It's the squeaky what that gets the grease.
Wheel.
Correct. Which country has more people, Angola or Uganda?
Angola.
Uganda. In what sport does Darryl Impey represent South Africa?
Cricket.
Cycling. Which actor played in the Mummy movies, Arnold Vosloo or Sholto Copley?
Arnold Vosloo.
Correct. Which place means sweet waters, Ulundi or Manzimtoti?
Manzimtoti.
Correct. True or false, Abundabele was Premier of KwaZulu-Natal?
True.
Correct. Which city is further from the equator, Cairo or Khartoum?
Cairo.
Correct. Does the word deft mean lonely or skillful?
Skillful.
Correct. In what sport does a team win the Hopman Cup?
Rugby.
Tennis. In which province is the Nordeers Neck Pass?
Northern.
Eastern Cape. Which country's flag has fewer stars, Liberia or China?
China.
Liberia. What animal is the character Thumper in the Disney movie Bambi?
A deer.
A rabbit. From which country is somebody who's called a Dane?
Denmark.
Correct. What is the chemical symbol for the element neon?
Ne.
Correct. True or false, the name of the city Rio de Janeiro means River of January?
True.
Correct. Which was a French colony, Senegal or Uganda?
Senegal.
Correct. What does the T stand for in the medical abbreviation STD?
Transmitted.
It is indeed. So we managed to complete 18 questions while the judges just confer. Let's go through some of those. Angola has 27 million people. Uganda has 42 million. So Uganda has quite a few more. Daryl Impey, very well-known road cyclist and represents South Africa in that sport. You got everything else right up until the Hopman Cup, which is the mixed man and woman's team, which is usually played just before the Australian Open. The Nodia's Neck Pass in the Eastern Cape. Anybody driven on that pass? It's between Maclear and Rhodes. It's an absolutely beautiful part of the country, and it's a very, very imposing pass to go through.
Well, Nigel, John did say it's either the worst thing to go first or the best thing. Which end of the scale are you feeling at the moment?
I don't mind going first, set the bar. But you got no target to chase.
No, fair enough. And how well do you think you did?
I did pretty well. Some of it I knew, but it's the time's against you. You don't have a minute to think of the answer.
I hear you. Let's find out from Stefan. Stefan, how did Nigel do?
We did make it through 19 questions. However, the last one was out of time. The tone has been set. Ladies and gentlemen, the score to beat. The score to beat is 12.
12 is the score to beat as we go on in our search for the third quarterfinalist in our Dis-Chem Brain of CapeTalk for 2017. Alan Philcox is from Tamburskloof, so literally just rolled down the hill to the garden center here. He's an owner of an outdoor furniture company, has 2 children, married. Children have already taken the money, and he has a small farm where he likes to play with his olives on the floor. What does that mean, Alan, that you're playing with your olives?
Well, let's get one thing clear. There are olives in the tree. No, I grow olives, and then I make olives and olive oil and things like that.
When you say you make it, does that mean that you're involved in the process, or do you hire somebody who's an expert in these things who then does it?
Well, I'm very involved in picking them and then taking them to an olive press. And then the olive press makes the oil.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's find out if the olives are going to help you today or not. John Matham, here's all yours.
One of the worst things that the dictionaries have done in the last decade is accept literally as meaning metaphorically and being correct. He did not literally roll down the hill. He metaphorically rolled down the hill. But these days, grammatically, you're 100% correct because the Oxford Dictionary...
Gentle giant, I said.
The Oxford Dictionary, no less, says that literally, metaphorically, it all means the same thing, which is bizarre. But never mind. Alan, you need 13 or more to be in the lead, 11 or fewer, and I'm afraid you've literally rolled down the hill with no other joy than meeting the lovely
John,
Africa
English
Malani.
is my fourth language.
Fourth
Fourth
language. If you get 12, then we have sudden death, and we haven't had sudden death in we had a sudden death in a quarterfinal last week. But it's nice. It's very tense when we have one, so I wouldn't mind if you got 12. I wouldn't mind at all, just saying. Alan, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Your 90 seconds start now. Spell the word colleague.
Collegue.
E-A. How many E's are there in the word deceptive?
3.
Correct. Complete the saying, a fool and his what are soon parted.
Horse.
Money. Which country has more people, Tanzania or Kenya?
Tanzania.
Correct. In what sport does Richard Murray represent South Africa?
Tennis.
Triathlon. Who founded Ladysmith Black Mambazo, Enoch Sontonga or Joseph Shabalala?
Joseph Shabalala.
Correct. Which place names boiling water, Polokwane or Bela Bela?
Polokwane.
Bela Bela. True or false, Manny DiPiccio was Premier of Limpopo?
False.
Correct. Which city is closer to the equator, Algiers or Addis Ababa?
Addis Ababa.
Correct. Does the word consequence mean proof or result?
Proof.
Result. In what sport does a team win the Ryder Cup?
Golf.
Correct. In which province is the Ulefielshoek Pass?
Eastern Cape.
KZN. Which country's flag has more stars, Burundi or Somalia?
Somalia.
Burundi. Which animal is the cartoon character Gromit in Wallace and Gromit?
Cat.
A dog. From which country is somebody who's called an Ivorian?
Côte d'Ivoire.
Correct. What is the chemical symbol for the element iron?
Fe.
Correct. True or false? The name of the city Buenos Aires means good morning.
True.
False. Which was a British colony, Sierra Leone or Guinea?
Guinea.
Sierra Leone. What does T stand for in the name T-Rex?
Tyrannosaurus.
Correct, but out of time. Unfortunately, every time you had to guess, kind of didn't go your way. Colleague is spelled C-O-L-L-E-A. You said A-E, G-U-E. I'm sure that under less pressure you would have got that one correct. A fool and his money are soon parted. I hope that doesn't prove true of you. Tanzania has 57 million people and Kenya has 48 million. Richard Murray is South Africa's top triathlete, even though it was another one of our triathletes who got silver in the Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. Bella Bella means boiling water. You said correctly, it's false to say that Manny Dipico was Premier of Limpopo. What province was he Premier of?
Northern Province.
Northern Cape. So, half right. Burundi has 3 stars on its flag. Somalia has just 1. And the Iwelafirtuk Pass is between Ladysmith and Escort. It's not as impressive as the previous pass, but it's that stretch of road.
What baffled my mind is the fact that you knew the chemical element for iron, but did not know that consequences is
Of
a
course,
result.
of course he knew. Just it's under pressure.
For that moment, it was
And it's
Yes,
Fe and it's Fey, Africa.
F-E.
Yeah, symbol for iron is Fey.
Which I don't think I knew.
Alan. It's from the Latin word for iron, which is ferrous. So it's Fe, the start of that Latin word.
Thank you very much, John Matham. How was that for you, Alan?
Oh, it was fun, but I don't think it went that well in the end.
All right, so 12 is a score to beat. Were you counting? Do you think you
No, I
managed?
wasn't counting, but there seemed to be a lot wrong.
All right, let's find out. Stefan, 12 is the score to beat. Did Alan do enough?
We went through 18 questions, bearing in mind the bar at 12. Alan, you scored a total of 8.
All right, so 12 is still the score to beat in this quarterfinal.
Just before you go on to the third Africa,
Yes.
Alan said the name of the city Buenos Aires means good morning. It doesn't mean good morning. Does anybody know what it means?
Hold on. Here's somebody offering an answer.
Good air.
Yeah, fair winds, good air, something like that. Yep.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Have you entered the Brain of Cape Talk? Enter it on Monday morning. Go to capetalk.co.za. Actually, you can do it after the competition now, capetalk.co.za, and you could win your share of 185,000 Rand. It is to Wednesday's Brain we turn now. She's driven all the way from Lansdowne in Cape Town. Her name is Lynn Fester. She is in healthcare marketing, broadly speaking. What does that mean, Lynn?
I work for a network of about 7,000 doctors
7,000 doctors.
across South Africa.
Doing what for them?
Everything.
Reading their scripts?
Actually, yes. Continued education, the accounts, everything that goes into running a practice.
All right. Now, why are you... Actually, I was going to ask, why are you very, very, very single, as you've noted on the piece of paper in front of me? It might have something to do with the fact that you're having to look after 7,000 doctors
I think so,
in
yes.
South Africa. She writes concepts for TV shows. Are you likely to do that more on a full-time basis than...
I'm working towards that.
All right. And what sort of TV shows are you working on?
Dramas,
Dramas?
mainly.
Soapies? Telenovelas?
Yes, definitely.
Soapies,
Yes,
all right.
soapies.
Let's hope it helps. All right. 12 is the score to beat. We wish you all the best. John Matham, she's all yours.
What I like about her hobbies, interests, those concepts of TV shows. She's writing them all the time on serviettes, notepads, and a work diary, once even all the way up her arm because she didn't have any paper on her at the time that an idea struck.
That's right.
Nigel's 12 is the score to either match or beat. Lynn, good luck to you. Your 90 seconds start now. Spell the word instantly.
INSTANTLY.
Correct. How many T's are there in the word repetition?
2.
Correct. Complete the saying, the hand that rocks the what rules the world.
The cradle.
Correct. Which country has more people, Swaziland or Seychelles?
Swaziland.
Correct. In what sport does Ashley Moolman Passio represent South Africa?
Cricket.
Cycling. Who is an author and Tony-winning actor? John Carney or Maps Moponyane?
John Carney.
Correct. Which place means place of reeds? Mhlanga or Eshawi?
Mhlanga.
Correct. True or false? Matthews Porser was Premier of the Eastern Cape.
True.
False. Which city is further from the equator? Libreville or Luanda?
Libreville.
Luando. Does the word delinquent mean dutiful or irresponsible?
Irresponsible.
Correct. In what sport does a team win the Stanley Cup?
Ice hockey.
Correct. In which province is the Magubaskloof Pass?
Limpopo.
Correct. Which country's flag has more stars? Ghana or New Zealand?
Ghana.
New Zealand. Which animal is the character Sebastian in The Little Mermaid?
He's a lobster.
Correct. From which country is somebody who is called a Malagasy?
Madagascar.
Correct. What is the chemical symbol for the element mercury?
ME.
Hg. True or false? The name of the city Lagos means lions.
True.
False. Which was a British colony, Mauritania or Nigeria? The answer is Nigeria. We completed 17 questions. Swaziland has 1.3 million people. The Seychelles, 117 islands, and on those 117 islands are collected 98,000 people, most of them on the main island, Mahi. Ashley Moolman-Passia, a very, very successful lady cyclist operating internationally for South Africa. Matthews Porser was not Premier of the Western Cape. He was a Premier of which province, folks? The political knowledge of this audience is staggering. Mpumalanga is what it is. Libreville is the capital of Gabon, which is very, very close to the equator. Luanda is the capital of Angola, which is quite a lot further away. Ghana has 1 star on its flag. New Zealand has 4. And the Lagos, anybody, doesn't mean lions. Anybody got an idea what it means? Nope. Lakes. Lagos is a city built on lakes, and hence its name.
Did she get all the language questions correct? Eh? It would make sense for somebody who's...
Instantly in repetition.
Yeah. John
And
Carney,
the hand that rocks the cradle. Yeah, she got that right.
John Carney, by the way, is returning to the stage in Cape Town with Sandro Prinsloo in an Afrikaans adaptation of Driving Miss Daisy. That's going to be at the Fugard Theatre, so look out for that. It's going to be amazing. And I also would have guessed ME for Mercury because it sort of makes sense, right? HG, where does that come from?
I never took physics.
How was that for you, Lynn?
Not so bad. I was so nervous, but I'm okay.
And how do you think you did?
I don't know. I don't think I beat the 12.
All right. So you don't know whether you did enough to get the 12 or
I
not.
don't know.
Let's find out from Stefan. Stefan?
You did, though, Lynn, come very, very close. You fell 1 short with a score of 11.
All right. So it seems that 12 is still indeed the score to beat. Will it be Elizabeth Bishop from Linfrey in Claremont who gets to beat this? She works in e-commerce at Woolworths, but currently on maternity leave with a 3-month-old. Has a husband called Craig and 3 children, aged 3, 2, and 3 months. She loves to cook, to read, watching BBC crime dramas, and walking in Kirstenbosch. And she's a natural redhead, but so far none of her 3 children have picked up this gene. Does that bother you, the fact that your children don't have any red hair?
Not at all. I mean, it might mean that I have to go for a 4th, but I think I might have 4 children and no husband if that happens. I think he just fainted in the audience.
Poor thing. He's probably thinking, win that 5,000 rand so that we can start buying the nappies for another child.
Exactly.
I imagine up until Prince Harry made the red ginger look. Is that the
Yes.
same color?
Yeah, I
sort of
would say so.
spectrum?
Yeah.
Before then, did people give you trouble for your red hair?
Well, it was always one of those things. I was never picked on for it, but if there was any trouble that went down at school, the redhead was the one that was remembered for being
yeah.
involved.
Poor
So
thing.
you can't really hide when you've got a flaming red of
And
mouth.
were you in trouble? Were you one of many, or...?
Well, one of my first reports did say it talks a bit too much in class, which I think you would understand, John.
Well, John promises to tickle this morning. John Matham, all yours.
HG, anybody know why the symbol for Mercury? Yes. Indeed. It was once called Hydragarum. HG, Hydragarum. And then they changed it. So Nigel's score of 12, Elizabeth, is still the score to beat. Or to match. Your 90 seconds start now. Spell the word desperate.
Desperate.
Correct. How many E's are there in the word especially?
1.
2. Complete the saying, what's good for the goose is good for the...
Gander.
Correct. Which country has more people, Lesotho or Mauritius?
Mauritius.
Lesotho. In what sport does Greg Minnaar represent South Africa?
Cycling.
Correct. Which rapper is a member of the Antwoord? Yolandi Visser? or
Yolandi Visser.
Correct. Which place means place of cheaters, Makado or Mangaung?
Mangaung.
Correct. True or false? Nokolo Kivit was Premier of the Free State.
False.
Correct. Which city is closer to the equator, Gaborone or Accra?
Gaborone.
Accra. Does the word eloquent mean mumbling or articulate?
Articulate.
Correct. In what sport does a team win the Webb Ellis Trophy?
Rugby.
Correct. In which province is the Long Tom Pass?
Western Cape.
Mpumalanga. Which country's flag has fewer stars, USA or the Comores?
Comores.
Correct. What animal is the cartoon character Speedy Gonzales?
A rat.
A mouse. From which country is somebody who's called a Peruvian?
Peru.
Correct. What is the chemical symbol for the element phosphorus?
PH.
P. True or false? The name of the city Casablanca means White House.
False.
True. Which was a British colony, Djibouti or the Seychelles?
Djibouti.
Seychelles. What does the H stand for in the name H-bomb?
Hydrogen.
I don't know whether that was in time. I'll leave that for the judges. They're giving the thumbs up, saying it was in time. Especially is ESPECILLY, so there are 2 there. Lesotho has 2 million people. Mauritius has 1.3 million people. Nokolo Kivit was not Premier of the Free State. She was, in fact, Premier of...
Eastern Cape.
Eastern
Cape,
Cape.
yeah.
There we go. Accra is in Ghana, which is not far
Right,
away from
yeah.
the equator. Gaborone is Botswana, which is a long way away. Between Lydenburg and Sabi, the Long Tom Pass, one of the country's great attractive passes. Are we going to accept rat? No, Speedy Gonzales is a mouse, not a rat. And Casablanca, Casa, House, Blanca, White House. Yep.
All right, and just to confirm, the last question where she gave the answer hydrogen, that one you have accepted.
We accept it.
All right. How did that feel for you?
It was good. A couple, I mean, you just know them and they're on the tip of your tongue, like mouse versus rat, but, you know, they slip away.
What was interesting, though, is that you didn't allow that to mess up with your game, if you know what I mean. Like, you managed to sort of pick yourself up very quickly and move over. Or was
Yeah.
I reading you?
No, I did. I don't think picked myself up enough, but I got there.
All right. Well, let's find out. Stefan, did she pick herself up enough the few times?
Elizabeth, you answered more questions than any of the contestants so far, but there was a speed bump towards the end. Your score is 11.
Okay.
And so it's left to the development economics researcher, our Friday's brain, Jeremy Gray from Vredehok right here in Cape Town. He lives by himself. He loves to run and read. And he says he is quite a nerd. Are you claiming that nowadays, Jeremy, because it's cool again to be a nerd?
Well, I think I've always been a nerd, so
But have you always claimed it, though?
probably not at school.
Not at school, but now Big Bang Theory and all those wonderful things that make being nerds cool makes you go, yeah, I'm a nerd.
I mean, I think anyone who has specific interests and likes to tend their brain should be considered a nerd.
I'll give it to you. You're the nerd, not me. 12 is the score to beat. John Matham, he's all yours.
Indeed, Nigel is rocking, for the people at home, Nigel is rocking backwards and forwards on his chair. I think when he scored 12, perhaps he thought, that's not going to be enough. All these clever people next to me, one of them is going to get more than 12. But as yet, Nigel, that has not happened. Will it be Jeremy? Jeremy, it's up to you. 12 takes us to sudden death, 13 or more, you win. 11 or fewer, and this man will probably fall off the back of his chair thinking about the 5,000 rand. Your 90 seconds start now. Spell the word redundant.
REDUNDANT.
Correct. How many C's are there in the word conception?
2
Correct. Complete the saying. A picture is worth 1,000.
words.
Correct. Which country has more people, Zimbabwe or Malawi?
Zimbabwe.
Malawi. In what sport does Cecil Africa represent South Africa?
Motor racing.
Sevens rugby. Which celebrity is the Victoria's Secret model, Tanit Phoenix or Candice Swanepoel?
Candice Swanepoel.
Correct. Which place name means place of coal, Sibasa or Imalahleni?
Imalahleni.
Correct. True or false, Popo Molefe was Premier of the Northwest?
True.
Correct. Which city is further from the equator, Harare or Nairobi?
Harare.
Correct. Does the word subsequent mean ensuing or before?
Ensuing.
Correct. In what sport does a player win the claret jug?
Golf.
Correct. In which province is the Sudwala Pass?
Eastern Cape.
In Mpumalanga. Which country's flag has fewer stars? Australia or Cape Verde?
Cape Verde.
Australia. What animal is the character Baby Mumble in Happy Feet?
Penguin.
Correct. From which country is somebody who's called an Afghan?
Afghanistan.
Correct. What is the chemical symbol for the element calcium?
Ca.
Correct. True or false? The name of the city Rabat means rabbit.
False.
Correct. Which was a French colony, Chad or Ghana?
Ghana.
Chad. What does the U stand for in the abbreviation UFO?
Unidentified.
Correct. Which of the 5 vowels is missing in the country name Ukraine? The answer is O, but it was out of time. I don't think any of our contestants got the question about population sizes in different countries correct. We had a problem with that. Zimbabwe has 16 million people. Malawi has 18 million. Cecil Africa represents South Africa in the very current, very, very successful Sevens rugby. I don't know whether knowing that Candice Swanepoel is a Victoria's Secret model is an element of nerdishness or not, but there we go. The Sudwala passes between Sudwala and Lydenburg. Not quite as dramatic, I don't think, as the Long Tom Pass, but it's a path that you would take to get through to the Kruger Park if you were going through the Hoedspruit Gate. Australia has 6 stars. Cape Verde has 10 on its flag. And the Rabat, anybody have an idea what Rabat means? Fortified place. And if you've been to Rabat in Morocco, you'd understand that name.
John, I think you are the only person who knows where all of these passes are in South Africa, because not any one of these candidates actually managed to correctly guess which province that they were in.
Well, I do have the answer in front of me, remember.
That does help. That does help indeed. Jeremy, our nerd, do you think you've got more than 12?
It's around 12. I didn't keep count.
It's about 12.
Around 12.
How are you feeling about your round?
Ask Nigel whether it was 12 or more.
Exactly.
He'll know.
It went pretty well. I mean, it's difficult to keep concentrating when you get one wrong, and then you have to focus on the next one.
Fair enough. That is always the trick, I tell you. All right, Stefan, let's put both him and Nigel out of their misery and find out whether Jeremy did enough to win, or is it going to be a tiebreaker, which John will be very excited about.
Bearing in mind, our bar is set at 12. Jeremy, you completed 19 questions, of which you completed successfully 14.
Yeah! It was pretty close there, Nigel, but our third quarterfinalist in the search for the Dis-Chem Brain of CapeTalk 2017 is Jeremy Gray from right here in Vredehog. Winning himself another 5,000 Rand on top of how much money did you win during the week? 2,000 Rand. So it's up to 7,000 Rand and the 1,000 Rand voucher from Dis-Chem. He'll be joining us next week, Saturday, at Tiger Valley for the semi-final that determines who the Dis-Chem Brain of CapeTalk will be. And if he wins more money there, it's another 15,000 Rand. And then Monday after, he'll go head-to-head with 702, where he could win another 20,000 Rand. And I'm listing all these amounts because you could play to win. All you have to do is go to capetalk.co.za, click on the Dis-Chem Brain of CapeTalk 2017, and enter the competition. You could win your share of 185,000 Rand. Once again, a hearty congratulations to our quarterfinal winner for the Garden Center, Jeremy Gray.